Hi, thank you so much for coming back and tuning in for another episode of Kim Barefoot in the Kitchen. I'm Kim. This is my real small kitchen where we cook real good food for real good people. This is my fake cooking show. And if you're watching on YouTube today, at the end of the tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, hit that bell button so that you don't miss any future episodes, and please subscribe. Now, today we are making zucchini eggplant pasta, or zucchini eggplant over rice, or you can do up the recipe, the zucchini pasta sauce, and you can put it over pasta or rice, whatever you want. Maybe add some cheese on top if you do dairy, or if you've got access to non-dairy cheese, and then pop it in the oven and do a bake. This is a really good recipe. It is very, very versatile. And the other thing that's really good about this recipe is it's a good one to make for company. You can do up the sauce ahead of time. Okay, let's get going. I'll read you off the list of ingredients, and then you can go and assemble them, and then come back and we can cook together. So today we need 1 pound of eggplant, a half a pound of zucchini, and we are going to peel and chop those, and then we're going to roast them in the oven. And then we need 4 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of finely chopped garlic. You guys mind looking at my recipe over here, right? 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes, or if you've got fresh tomatoes from your garden, you can go ahead and use those. 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili powder, 1 pound of eggplant, half a pound of zucchini, and 1 carrot or 2 carrots, if you really like carrots. The first thing we're going to do is get the eggplant and the zucchini ready to go into the oven and roast. And while it's roasting, we're going to assemble our sauce and get that cooking. And then in the end, we can add back the zucchini and the eggplant, and then you can serve it over whatever you like. Okay, so you go and assemble your ingredients and come back and let's cook together. I'm looking forward to sharing this recipe with you today. Okay, with your eggplant, you want to just take the top and the bottom off, and then we're going to peel them. This is probably my least favorite thing to do. I'm not a lover of peeling anything, but for this recipe we really do need to peel eggplant. And I've gone to my knife already because this one is very non-standard inconform gooseneck in it, and that is hard to peel. One down. This one might be a little bit easier. Let's hope. Almost. Good. Okay. There's just a few little spots here I can take off with this rather dull knife. And that looks good. And then my zucchini I've already peeled. And then we're going to chop these. And I'm not going to roast my carrot. You can if you want to. That's totally up to you. I'm going to do my carrot in ribbons just to add just a little different look and texture to the meal. I love cooking with eggplant. It's one of those vegetables that is so good for you. And it's got lots of fiber in it, which is awesome. And I love that they are that beautiful purple color to start off with. Good. You don't want to chop it too fine, otherwise it's just going to disappear into your sauce. And the carrot, you know that I like to add it. If you've cooked with me before, you've heard me say that I like to add it to tomato dishes to balance out the acidity of the tomatoes. It's also in this one for color, because you've got, now that we've taken off the skin of the eggplant, it's the same color as the zucchini. So we want a little bit of color. If you've got a yellow pepper on hand, you can put that into. The recipe didn't call for it, but it wouldn't hurt. Okay, so I've already prepared my baking sheet. I'm going to put all of these in here. And we're going to bake them until they're soft, probably about 15-20 minutes. So once you've got your zucchini and your eggplant on your baking sheet, you can salt them a little bit. We'll just remember to adjust the salt at the end because we've already salted these vegetables. And if you want to, you can give them a little sprinkle with olive oil. And then toss a little bit. And then this is going to go in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Everybody's oven is a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the oven and come back and we'll start on our sauce. This is one of those wonderful recipes that does not take a lot of time to throw together, and it's got maximum taste. It'll taste like you spent all afternoon slaving over the stove when in fact you didn't. And you don't have to tell anybody that you didn't slave all afternoon over this wonderful meal. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic. That's what I think is going to amount to 1 tablespoon of finely chopped garlic. And after we chop this, we're going to put it into a heavy bottom pot or frying pan, a deep one, a deep pan, with some olive oil. And we're going to saute it, but we're not going to brown it. When I was listening to the coach this morning when I was running, he asked, "How are you doing?" And he said something very interesting, as he usually does. Love listening to him. He said, "I don't want a one-word answer." And he said, "Don't say fine. Don't give me that fine answer." And I thought, you know, what he's saying was just so true. When people ask us how we're doing, we usually say fine. And we usually say fine when we're indeed not really fine. So get into a habit of asking your friends how they're doing. And you can couch it, or you can, just add, "And I really want to know how you're doing." If people say fine, and they're the kind of a friend that you can press a little bit, you can ask them, "What does fine mean?" And if they say, "Good, I'm doing good," then that's great, you can move on. And if not, be the kind of friend that takes the time to listen to how people are doing, especially right now. So many people are struggling, some with work, oh my goodness, some with loneliness, others just problems that were there before COVID started, and now it sort of has exacerbated things. So when somebody says to you, fine, I'm fine, and you've got the friendship that you can sort of push a little bit, I would ask them to define fine. See, they probably need to talk about something. My garlic is prepped. I'm going to go and grab my cooking surface, plug it in, and then we can start with the next really easy part of this recipe. Okay, we're ready to go with our sauce. Into your heavy bottom pan, you want to add 1 tablespoon of oil over medium-high heat. You don't want it to get so hot that it's going to burn or brown your garlic. We just want to stir it a bit with the oil over the heat so that it's nice and fragrant. We don't want it to brown. And then we're going to add our tomatoes as the next step after that. That smells good. Doesn't that smell beautiful? Okay, and you can get your tomatoes ready. So go ahead and add your tomatoes. Way too hot. So I've got 2 tins of tomatoes, and then I've got 2 fresh. If you've got all fresh, that's even better. I forgot to get tomatoes when I was at the market. So we're going to use up these tinned ones, and that's okay too. And to the tomatoes, we are going to add the parsley, the oregano, pepper flakes, salt, and pepper. So while those tinned tomatoes are reducing, I'm just going to chop my fresh tomato to add. Okay, and then go ahead and add your parsley. And it was 4 tablespoons of finely chopped Italian parsley if you can get it. If you can't, then use whatever parsley you've got. And then we're going to move on and add our other spices. So we need 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, 2 tablespoons. Don't skimp on the oregano. The oregano really makes this recipe. Pepper flakes, and that was 1/8 of a teaspoon. I don't have pepper flakes, but I do have ground chili that I'm going to use. So a scant 1/8 of a teaspoon. Just a teeny bit of a zing there. And then I didn't mention for you to add smoked paprika. Forgot to tell you about that. But with a lot of tomato dishes, I like to add smoked paprika, and I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon. I started with 1/4, I'm adding 2. Go ahead and grind in some pepper. Good. And give it a stir. And if yours looks like it's really liquidy, that's fine. We're going to simmer it for 15 minutes so that it makes it into a nice thick sauce, almost like a stew consistency. And I didn't forget about the carrot. The carrot, I have this peeler, and it's fairly thick, and it makes nice ribbons. I use this when I'm doing vegetable pasta. You know how some people have a spiraler? I don't have one, but I do enjoy making just vegetable pasta with no, like, just vegetables, right? And this is what I use, and it works great. And I like the longer curls of carrot instead of chopping them in this recipe. It adds to the texture, it adds to the look of the recipe. Give it a stir. Now we want to reduce this until it's the consistency that you would like it for your pasta recipes, or if you're going to do a pasta bake, or if you're going to serve it over rice. Oh, I love those long curls of carrot in there. I think it looks so pretty. So when I was running this morning, the other thing that the coach asked is, why are you doing this? Why are you running? And it's a good question to ask when you're doing anything, because it really does center you. So when I answered, I was, okay, I'm running for my health. I'm running because I love running. I love that motion. I love the energy that it gives you. I like the endorphins too. It makes me feel pretty good. And I like being outdoors, and it gets me out in the rice fields, and it just feels good. It feels like it's doing something, just for me. But whatever you're doing, it's good to check in and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because number one, if it's not worth your while, it might be something to abandon. It might be something that's not working for you, okay? But if it is something that's working for you, like cooking, sometimes people feel that cooking can be sort of a drudgery. But if you ask yourself, why am I doing this? I'm nourishing myself, I'm nourishing my body, this is for my health, I'm cooking good food, or I'm taking care of my family. And cooking good food is really, really important. There's a lot of food out there. You can go to a myriad of fast food places and get something really, really quick, and yeah, it'll fill your belly, but it's not really that great for you. So one of the keys to health is to eat slow food. And what I mean by that is food that you have spent time purchasing. You went to the store, you went to the fresh market, and you got your vegetables, you took them home, you washed them, you had to cut them up, and then you had to figure out a way to cook them so that it makes something delicious for you or for your family. And the more slow food that you eat, the better your health is going to be. And that's not me saying that, that's real science. It's real nutritionists that have got degrees that know what they're talking about, and doctors. I've had some amazing talks with doctors through the years, and they also recommend slow food. There's a really, really good book. It's called Run Fast, Eat Slow, and it's by Shalane Flanagan and somebody else. I forget who co-wrote it with her, but the recipes in it are really good. If you've baked my muffin recipes before, you've heard me talk about Shalane. She's an amazing marathoner. She really knows what she's talking about. It's a good cookbook to pick up. Okay, so this is at a stage where it can now just do its own thing. I'm gonna cover it and then let it reduce for 15 minutes. Okay, my sauce is reduced. Let's add in our eggplant and zucchini, and then we're gonna taste it, and then we can adjust and add the salt. You could add mushrooms to this as well if you've got them. Just saute them first. Okay, let's give this a stir. Now it should be feeling really quite thick with the added vegetables in there now. And if you've got a family and the kids are not real vegetable lovers, I guarantee, put this over pasta, throw some cheese on top, bake it in the oven, and they'll love it. If you can eat dairy, cheese makes everything better. Okay, there is a lot here. I'm going to have enough for supper tonight, and then I can freeze some. Okay, let's give that sauce a little taste. That is fresh. Wow, it's really good. Yummy. Oh, this is going to be so tasty. I'm excited. Okay, does yours need a little bit more salt? I'm going to add just a titch more salt. What is a titch anyway? It's an odd word. Titch more salt. I'm adding maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. Some more pepper. I think I'm good with the smoked paprika. What else does it need? I think maybe that's it. Give it a stir and see how this would be an excellent meal to cook when you've got company coming over, right? You do up your sauce ahead of time. You bake your zucchini and eggplant in the oven, and then just shortly before it's time to serve, you rewarm that sauce, add in your zucchini and your eggplant, and then serve it over whatever you want. Or you're gonna do a bake, put it in the oven, and dazzle your guests, or dazzle your family, or just dazzle yourself. This is good food. Okay, it's taste test time. I'm adding some of my pasta, gluten-free pasta, brown rice pasta, and then I'm going to add a bit of the sauce. And it really is very pretty. I don't know if you can see that. We've got different colors in there, and with the carrot, doesn't that look nice? Yeah. Okay, a little bit more saucy. Okay, moment of truth. Let's go. Oh, I so love this. Oh, I'm so glad I made this. This is yum. This is really, really, really good. This is so delicious, and I love the eggplant in here. It tastes really nice. It really baked up well. I love that the carrot is not mushy. It's just a teeny bit crunchy. Just crunchy is not even the right word, but it's not all soft and mushy. And then you've got the eggplant, which when baked up really holds together nicely. And then the zucchini in there is a lot softer. So you've got a lot of different textures in here. Nice work, everybody. We did it. We did a great job of cooking zucchini eggplant over pasta. It's a delicious meal. It's a beautiful sauce. Very, very versatile. I hope that yours turned out well, and I hope that you love it as much as I do too. So there's a meal under an hour, cooked and ready to serve to your family or to your guests. Please take care, everybody. Remember that I miss you all. I think of you all often, and I'm looking forward to once the skies open up again and I can come back to Canada and the States and hug you all, and we can all have a great visit again. Until then, this is Kim, still barefoot in the kitchen, signing off. Don't forget to give me a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so that you get a reminder of my next tutorial, which is going to be a muffin recipe that we make in the blender and then we bake it. Okay, take care everybody.